You know what? I'm going to start again. Let's get the intro right. It's been a while.
Right, go on, knock the rust off. Go on.
Hey, guys, and welcome to an episode of Two Bald Knobs. With this bald knob, 6+ Stevo, and that bald knob.
Scarnier. Or
Hey.
Plastic Crack Damon. Or Dwayne, if you know me from Battletech. Hey.
It's been a while, hasn't it, mate?
I checked the last two Bald Nobz video, and I think YouTube was telling me it was about 2 years ago. But so we've dropped the ball a bit.
2 years.
2 years. It's
Wow.
aged like a fine wine.
Yeah, if only I could say the same for myself.
I know. We've been on the edges.
And it's the first episode that we're filming on the new home for this show, which is on the Warboss channel.
The Warboss is no longer bouncing between our channels. It'll now be in the Warboss channel.
Yep. The episodes that were on our respective channels are still there. We still have playlists existing on those channels, but we created a playlist on the Warboss channel that has the whole back catalogue of Bald Nobz episodes for your enjoyment if you want to go back and see more of this. Yeah, if you go back far enough, might not have even been bald at the time. But
they don't go back that far.
No, they don't actually. No, we were always bald. But yeah, this is the new home for this show now, and this show that we hopefully will do more of going forward.
Now, hopefully, we will. We will be doing more.
We will. We 100% will. It just felt like the right home for it, didn't it? We kind of like.
But yeah, we're making a push with the rest of the bosses as well. I think, like with my shift towards BattleTech, I think like I'll be mostly be keeping BattleTech as on my core channel, video wise, and then any 40k stuff, 40k Ork stuff we do, like I plan on putting up here anyway. So it makes sense for the two Bald Nobz to go in the Warbosses channel. You know, just point people in the right direction. So if you want the Orky content, it's over there.
Yeah, it feels right, and sort of chopping and changing between, alternating between our channels. It felt a bit disjointed, didn't it? And it felt a bit kind of hard for people to follow along with it. And so, so from now on, you can find all the Bald Nobz episodes on this channel, and all future ones will be on this channel. But yeah, first episode back in 2 years. What are we talking about today? If you haven't already guessed by the thumbnail, we are talking about Legends, in specifically Ork Legends for 10th edition. So, I mean, I have always been a big advocate of Legends. Legends first sort of came in like 8th edition.
8th, I think, if I remember correctly.
And it was met with some skepticism from a lot of the community. But I've always been a big advocate of Legends. I like the fact that GW provide us with rules for whatever the current edition is at the time, and points, so we can use these in our match play games, and and have fun with these old classic units and stuff that no longer appears in the codex. You can't use them in tournaments, or at least most tournaments. Doesn't bother me because I don't generally attend tournaments. But yeah, so I really like Legends. I think it's a fantastic thing to have. But not all the community agrees with me on that. I think in the way that it's delivered, or the restrictions that apply to it, or I mean, Scar, what's your feelings on it in its current form?
I look at it this way. Taking into account I'm a more venerable player, I'm going to look at Legends with a certain perception that maybe newer players wouldn't have, in that I have quite a lot of the units that are in Legends, so it's of some use to me. But I can understand new players coming in who can't go into their local GW to buy Legends miniatures. You know what I mean? For the most part, I assume. So then they're going to see less value or less use for it. They'll be, you know, I can understand there being an attitude of, oh, why should we let you play with them? I can't get them. So I can understand if there's a division there. But like I said, my perception is because I've been hobbying long enough, I have a few of the units and I'd find use for it. Like, and I'll be honest, the only time I really play 40k anymore is with the rest of the Warbosses. So we have a bit of crack and we allowed Legends units. So I don't find issue with being able to play them, which could be the second point of contention. You know, maybe the local GW manager doesn't let people play Legends, or maybe he does. You know what they're like. I always find it quite interesting, the inconsistency in stores with Games Workshop. Just as a franchise, you know, if you walk into a McDonald's, you nearly get the same service in all the McDonald's, but GWs can be very hit and miss. So it's a bit of a minefield of a subject. But for me, I think it's a positive thing. I like it, but I play for fun.
I think McDonald's put the McRib in Legends, didn't they?
They do, and every now and then they bring
they bring it back. Scar, I don't know if this is going to come across the recording, but your video footage for some reason is very jittery.
Maybe.
Yeah. I thought the frame rate's off or something. I don't know what's going on there. You're very sort of. It's
might be the old Wi-Fi. Hold on.
It looks like you're like either like maybe like really excited to be here and you got the coffee jitters or something. I don't know. So I think Scar, while he tries to sort his camera out,
remote. How about now?
That's better. There you go. That's better.
We need to get a new internet provider. The one we currently have is a heap of fucking shit.
Nice. Well, it wouldn't be. Look, 2 years have passed. We're still fucking this shit up.
Of course, yeah. Well, we need to knock the rust off. You leave your bike down for a while. There's going to be a few kinks in it before you know you get it back.
Yeah. We're warming up, people. We're warming up.
We're warming up. Yeah. Get the blowtorch out there.
I like to bang on about Legends a lot because they're freely available. So we'll go over a few of the units a little bit later, and we'll talk about some standout things in there because there's some really exciting stuff in Legends, particularly for Orks. Some of the factions have quite a lot, Orks being one of them. Other factions, I mean, they literally might have one, maybe 2 units in there. A few they don't really have, like Necrons, for example. I think have got like maybe 1 unit in all of Legends. But yeah, Orks really good, a good amount of stuff actually, and it can increase your range of options open to you from just what's in the codex by quite a lot. And there is some very exciting things in there. But Games Workshop, they release all this stuff for free. The rules are there. You can download the data cards. You can download the Munitorum field manual. Why don't they just call it a point sheet or something? That thing. You can download the points for free. And it's all available on the Warhammer community site. I'll probably pop links in the description below, actually, so you can find the exact place where you can get these downloads from. But they're just kind of, I think they made a brief sort of announcement of it on the Warhammer community site. And it's like, it's there for guys, but they don't make a song and dance about it. It's very sort of, if you missed that announcement and no one else you know knows about it, whatever, it could just pass you by and you'd be completely unaware of this thing called Legends. Also, it's not in the app. Now, Imperial Armor stuff is the Forge World stuff, which is also free to download, but that stuff appears in the official app. So you've got the points and stuff for your squig offs, etc. But the Legends stuff does not appear in the app. So it looks like Games Workshop sort of throws a bone out to sort of old school players and people that still have this stuff. And you can say, well, look, here you go. Here's the rules. Here's the points. So you can still use it. But it would be nice if they supported it a bit more themselves, and sort of promoted it a bit more. And I mean, obviously there's not much money in it for them because they don't sell this stuff anymore. But it would be nice if that was actually in the app, because if you do want to work this stuff into your list and stuff, then you have to sort of, you know, put your list together in the app and then you know, do some more. Now I can't remember. They used to be in Battlescribe. I imagine they probably still are actually, but I haven't checked Battlescribe for a while, so I can't confirm.
I haven't
that.
used Battlescribe in a very long time myself, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. Yeah, I think it's a case of like they're facilitating it, but they're not shouting from the rooftops because again, you know, new players aren't really going to have access to the miniatures unless they're going onto eBay or they're customizing and making them themselves. You know, it's more sort of the likes of us, lot who are established players
Yeah.
and know where to go looking. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, when you go into Warhammer Community, I found it pretty easy. You just punch in Legends into the search bar and it pulls it up. So it's
Yeah.
if you know what to go looking for, you can find it easy. But it
Yeah.
is that case of knowing to go looking for it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because I think they worried me for a while because I know our good pal Dim, he was very skeptical when 9th edition was coming round, and he was very much of the opinion, as I'm sure a lot of other people were, because there was this when Legends first came out for 8th. I think we covered it, or at least I covered it a bit, and there was a lot of talk of like, well, when 9th edition comes around, it's gone. So the Legends is where units go to die. It's like
that's my opinion as well. I'm surprised they've held on to as many of them as they have.
Yeah, and it's obviously 9th. The jump from 9th from 8th wasn't a huge change. So a lot of the stuff could you could have still worked with it and stuff, and it would have largely played the same. But they updated it for 9th, and then 10th coming around. Obviously, this was a big sort of worry because there was no mention of it for a while, and it's like, oh, Legends could go away fully. They might just do away with them, and then they got me excited because they said, oh, Legend stuff's coming back. But what they were talking about was the Forge World stuff. So that all came out, and I was like, well, this is cool that you know got your squig off and all that stuff and free rules for this. This is good, but where's my actual Legends? Where's my Buggies? Where's my characters on bikes, etc. But then, yeah, a little while later, they sort of quietly brought it out, made a brief post about it, and from most of the community, it largely went unnoticed. But if you take nothing else away from this video, guys, please go and download those rules and check those rules out and have a look at the stuff and read the data sheets. Think about what it could do for your army in game terms. Think about what it could do going back to our last Warboss video, fluff wise for your army, yeah, like your creativity and your kit bashing and converting, or if you've just got this old school stuff knocking about in a box somewhere, dig this stuff out or create new versions of this stuff and get them in your army. Because when you turn up at your gaming club or when you have a game with your friends or whatever and you bring this stuff out, it's gonna catch attention, and people go, what's that? Especially some of the younger gamers that have never seen this stuff before. So it's a huge thing that's out there available to you, and it would be such a shame for people not to make use of that. And my only worry with it going away fully would be if the community at large seems to, if they stick with their current sort of way of thinking that I see out there, that people are like, oh, it's not really official, it's not really there, it's going to die. If they carry on with that and not using this stuff, eventually we'll go, well, look, statistics on the site, hardly anyone's downloaded this, hardly anyone's bothered by it. If we just quietly brush it under the carpet when 11th edition comes out, then who's going to care? And that would be a real shame. That would be a real shame.
I mean, would it matter though? Like, because for the likes of us, I mean, we're still going to use Legends. But I've no problem with come up with our own versions of Legends in the future if they get rid of them altogether. You know what I mean? As long as we all have access to them and all agree to them, and just, you know, make the hobby your own. It doesn't have to come from on high what rules you can and can't use. And I mean, if you're not going to tournaments, then, you know, just have a laugh with it. You know what I mean? I think that's what Legends is there for, is to have a bit of a laugh with your mates. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I agree with that in principle. But I think when stuff has an official data sheet and it has official points, I think it sort of validates it a bit, and it can be more widely accepted amongst the things. I think I'm not
Yeah, if
sure
you're playing in like your local GW, yeah, the
yeah,
likes of
or even I think
that.
even at a gaming club or something with certain people, I think they will find that quite jarring, especially if they're playing other factions and stuff, and perhaps they're not quite so into sort of house ruling stuff and things as a lot of the Orc community tend to be. I think you might be harder pushed to say, look, I've written my rules or adapted rules so I can use this old unit. I think a lot of players, certainly the type of players we play with, would probably be up for that. But a lot of players might sort of be a bit, not so sure, might be a bit put off by that. Whereas when it's got an official data sheet and points and stuff, I think it sort of gives it it gives you the permission to be able to use it and stuff a little bit more. And I think it.
No, I can understand it. It is open to abuse. Like if you were writing your own rules, what's the stop? Like
Yeah,
the low power gamer or whatever. Oh, I'll give it like a really good save or make it like super cheap in points more than it's ever been, even in relation to the current point system for whatever edition. I mean, it is open to abuse, but then, just don't play games with those
and
people.
and we all like to criticize Games Workshop and well any sort of game company with things and sort of give our views and opinions on whether things are balanced or whether things are costed effectively or overpowered or underpowered or whatever. But not everybody out there is capable of writing good rules or writing a good data sheet that is balanced. And especially if you're writing stuff for your own army, a lot of players would be tempted to veer towards the slightly more powerful, let's say. And then
But I
that's
think
obviously that's subjective, and it depends who it is and what kind of
on their
mindset they have.
mindset, yeah. Well, I think that's the key thing. If you're going to be making your own units or you're going to be recreating old units for, if they're not in Legends even, you need to take into account what it's going to be like to play against that unit and what it's going to be like for someone to field that unit. Is it going to be worth fielding it? And is it then going to be too overpowered? Like if you were playing against it, would you feel it's overpowered?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then make it a little bit more expensive. Or what specifically is a bit overpowered? Did you give it a 2+ and vulnerable save needlessly or something like that? Or like there's plenty of rules out there from previous editions. If you look at apocalypse books, if you look at old codexes, there's loads of rules that have changed drastically. So you could use them for inspiration. You know what I mean? Go back
Mm-hmm.
and go, here, look, I found this old rule, like the old lifted dropper rules where it actually lifted up vehicles and smashed them against stuff. You can do fun things like that for the crack because it's hilarious.
But yeah, so the
Shall we
thing to
crack on with
mention,
the fourth Legends unit since we're here to
well,
talk about it?
just before we do that, the one important thing to say about Legends is that they don't get updated, which to me is a massive plus. So that could mean that at some points during this edition, as the however long this edition lasts for, it's going to be changed a lot. It's already been changed. It feels like it's been out about a week. It's been out longer than that, obviously, but it feels like it. We barely got 10th edition in our hands before it was changed and points were changed and things. Not an issue with Legends because they just they update the Legends at the start of an edition and then that's it. They're left now. So during various points, Legends units might be underpowered, and then at other points, Legends units might feel a little bit overpowered as points for the rest of your faction and the armies raise and drop. So there could be some sort of balancing issues and things. But I would think I would imagine that for the most part, Legends units are possibly going to be a little bit on the underpowered side compared to official stuff for the most part anyway. But if anything, that's a bit of a plus because they're kind of there for the fun. You're not really putting a Legends unit in your army because you're like, this, if I put this in my army, this is going to win me games. This is going to be powerful. You're putting it in more because you want to add some flavor. You really have a fond memory of that unit or it fits the theme and you just want to put something fun and a bit unique in your army.
But if we're speaking about legend units and putting them in an army, like I plan on doing a themed army for the next Warboss meet. Since I won't divulge plans about what the structure of it is, but the army I'm going to make is a themed army, and I want to put 2 legends units in the Chinork copters. because that's the theme. I found it amusing to go with the theme of everything either flying in or on flying transports, taking into account I fly into the events. I thought that'd be funny. So
Nice.
you can understand wanting to get Legends units, not because the units are OP or whatever, but it's just like it'd be cool, to make copters. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then that adding that unit in alongside your storm boys and your death copters or your flyers or whatnot will just add more to it and stuff, and giving you a flying transport as well, which is just going to be perfect for that.
Yeah,
that
I mean,
force.
I could bring a truck, but it wouldn't fit the team as well. You know what I mean? So it's just the nice cherry on the cake, sort of.
Yeah,
And
for
that's why
sure.
Legends help.
Well, so the Chinork Warcopter is in Legends at the moment, just so that you know, it is 105 points. And I've got I printed off my data cards. So I have them here. I've laminated them. So these go alongside my official ones, which is really cool to have the actual data cards in the same way. But yeah, the Chinork Warcopter, we'll pop it up on the screen. But it's got some lovely options and stuff. And what I like about these Legends vehicles and units as well is that they've got the special abilities and things. They haven't sort of just given them a very basic stat line and left them. They've got the same special rules and things that all the other units have. So, and all individual, and some of them are really fluffy and sound really fun as well. So I won't go into it like in full detail and read it out fully. But it's got war gear abilities, big bombs once per battle. It can drop bombs and throw out some mortal wounds. It's got a start. It starts the game in strategic reserves. So, if the model starts, it can come on. So yeah, it can come on with them. And it's got some options with different weapons. It can be equipped with up to 2 big bombs. Its big shooter can be replaced with any of the following: custom mega blasters, rocket launchers, scorchers. Its 2 death guns can be replaced with 2 rattler cannons. So yeah, it comes equipped to standard with a big shooter, 2 death guns, and an armored hull. And it can carry 12 orc infantry. So
I mean, yeah, that's the main thing for it, is that like it flies. I like the aerial deployment. That's in keeping with a good theme. You know what I mean? Thinking of the Huey scene in Apocalypse Now, where they're all coming in over the surf. Like that's the type of visual I'd have. Imagine like a good few helicopters coming in and storm boys following in beside them, and little death copters, and everything just flies in. Yeah, that'd be super cool, man. Maybe with like a fire bomber or a burner bomber for escort, or a Dakka jet. But yeah, fighter bomber, another Legends unit we can talk about in a second.
yeah,
but yeah, just a thing. That's what I'd want for it. It's not that it's OP or that it's crazy. It's just like it's a helicopter transport. How cool is that?
Yeah, and alongside like fleets of like, if you've got like fleet of death copters alongside it and that, like, so you've got like your sort of your fighters and your transport craft and that, it just it sounds cool as hell, and a really strong theme, and an army like that on the table would look so cool. So cool.
Like, I've no idea if it'd be powerful or not. Like, I you know what I mean? I think it would come in fast, hit hard, and then be like maybe a good class camera. But it doesn't seem OP, so it's just
no.
I just think it,
No, it doesn't. It's got like 10 wounds, got a 6+ invulnerable save, toughness of 8. I mean, it's fairly hardy, but it's got fast movement. It's certainly going to attract a lot of attention, especially with depending on what you've loaded inside it. If you've got a big fucking nasty, if you've got a load of Mega Nobz inside it or something, which it can transport.
Can't put Mega Nobz or Gazgul or Stormboy. So I'd be putting like. I think if I was doing it, I'd put the boys in, because you need like your core units. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you'd have the boys in the copters, and then you'd probably take a load of storm boys and death copters and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't read that right. Yeah, you're right. You can't transport mega armored. It'd be a bit heavy when take off with them fat fuckers on there.
Yeah. Just be lopsided, constantly stuck in a circle, like.
And yeah, you mentioned other units in there as well on the flying, because so we're sport for choice for flyers already. We've got 4 different flyers in our codex, but this gives us more because it gives us the fighter bomber for 100 points, and the attack fighter also 100 points. And they both seem quite interesting as well, actually. I'm going
So the attack fighter, these were both Forge World aircraft. I have 2 fighter bombers, one still new in bag that I just need to get the finger out and sort out. But these were like the flyers before we had plastic flyers, because plastic flyers came out at the end of 5th edition. And before that, any flyers that people had, like flyers, were rare. They were Forge World only units. You rarely see them aircraft. But yeah, the fighter bomber, an old classic miniature. Again, like I said, it doesn't seem that overpowered.
No, I
It's
see
got good.
the attack fighter's got a nice rule. So if you're coming up, it would be a good counter to your faction, actually, because if any ranged attacks against a unit that can fly, you add 1 to the hit roll. So it's a fighter designed to take out other aircraft.
That's its job. That's literally its job. Like, yeah, that one's the interceptor, whereas the fighter bomber is like a multi-role aircraft. Yeah.
And even the attack fighter comes with small bombs as well. It can.
Oh, of course.
Drop some
No
bombs.
self-respecting pilot wouldn't, want to drop something on the opponent. Be that spare tools and having a crack at them with a slugger. You know what I mean? You always want to wreak some havoc on the opponent.
I always like it when people model like orc pilots waving a chopper or something, just in the, you're looking at that boy thinking, you're hopeful, aren't you? Like,
I mean, swoop down low enough to clip them with the wing and one. You know what I mean?
Or fly underneath and cut the fuel lines or something. I don't know. Yeah. Another one I want to talk about is one that absolutely love to see back, and I think a lot of people have these, is big guns. The big guns, the sort of smaller brother of the Met gun, they're only 20 points each, which is so useful. And I think I would probably end up using, I've only got 1 big gun. I've got a cannon at the moment. I probably will end up having more. Incredibly easy to kit bash and convert. You need a gun and 2 wheels and a couple of grots, and that's it. Stick it on a killer can size base and you're good to go. But yeah, in this age of power points disguised as points, or power level disguised as points, it's really hard when you're making lists to get bang on, because you don't have like, I can take 1 little bit of war gear off and save myself 3 or 5 points here or there. So having a 20-point unit that you can just have 1 of is so useful. You're like, well, I just need to make up the points somewhere. I'll throw a big gun in. There you go. Just a bonus big gun. But this is where the downside comes in, because with these not being, GW don't always get things right when they write rules and data sheets, hence the need for constant erratas and FAQs and changes. Now, if they get things wrong with Legends, well, they're just staying like that for the whole edition, unfortunately. And they got things wrong with the big guns because they have a ballistic skill of 6+.
That's fine.
Yeah, because if they stay still, because they're heavy, so if they stay still, they get a +1, so then they're hitting on 5+. So basically, if they move, they're hitting on 6s. But they've also got a weapon skill of 3+. What I gather from this is the person that wrote these rules was completely unaware that big guns are crewed by Gretchen and not orcs, because they've got orc weapon skill and orc ballistic skill. Now, what I would say to anyone using big guns is to house rule that. Change the weapon skill to 5+ and change the ballistic skill to 5+. Then it'll be a 4+ when they stay still, hence grot shooting. So yeah, that's a bit of a bummer. but like I say, I would encourage anyone to house rule that bit. But the fact that they're in there is really, really cool. A dirt cheap unit just to throw in for 20 points. You can have them in units of 1 to 2, and they all come with a cannon, and they can all be replaced with either a lobber or a zap gun. And you can have 1 to 2 in a unit.
1 to 2 in a unit. Didn't they used to come in like groups of 3 though? Couldn't you?
Sure, they did. Yeah, I'm sure they did.
Because I think I have 3 of each. I think I have 3 cannons, 3 lobbers, and 3 zap guns, and I used to use the lobbers quite a lot.
I think you're right. I think they did used to be in 3s. So you could, the maximum you could have in this at the moment would be 6, 3 units of 2, isn't it? But yeah, great that they're in there. Fantastic, especially if you're running a Grot themed army. You know, so you can have.
They literally took the words out of me mouth.
Yeah.
It's like that's what I'd have them lined up for, is like a rebel Grot army. You know, Grot mega tanks, Grot tanks, big guns, lots of Grot units. You know what I mean?
You could really do the artillery lines then, couldn't you? Because you could have all the mech guns and then all the big guns in front of them.
Yeah, the big guns as well, yeah. And it'd be a very good defensive army. You know what I mean? They don't not really good in the offensive, but just like come at us if you want to. I'm sure Dread would have a great time against them if we did another big battle.
Yes, I remember having a good time against them in our last battle.
Yeah, that's true. The old Grot artillery taking them out, huh?
Poking their barrels through the windows.
You'll see nothing here, bud.
Another one I got to talk about that I'm still in the work of doing, but is the Death Roller Battle Fortress.
Ooh,
which
I have one of these myself.
Nice. 250 points. So not cheap, but fair, quite reasonable actually. Doesn't have a huge amount of offensive output. The guns it's got and things, when you compare it to some of the stuff in the codex and stuff, doesn't throw out a huge amount of firepower, as much as you would probably think something like that would, let's say. But it's got 22 wounds, which is nothing to be sniffed at, and it's got a toughness of 12. So it's just a good, solid, tanky unit that can transport, and it's got a transport capacity of 22. Which is quite nice. So you could have your full mob of 20 boys with 2 characters in there, or 2 separate units, or lots of mega armor stuff. You can so yeah, you can carry a lot of stuff. It's a good thing to keep things safe. Doesn't have much in the way of special rules. It's literally just got the special rule rolling fortress. So if models not fully visible behind it, just get the benefit of cover. So it doesn't have any sort of interesting, exciting special rules, but it's just a big, tanky tank that would be a great centerpiece for any army. And one day, when I finish building it, will be the centerpiece of my army. But yeah,
it's a really nice model if you can get your hands on it. I'm surprised they haven't done a plastic version of it, because if you read the lore, it's like as Ork Warbosses get their big mechs, or even just the big mechs themselves, make their battle wagons bigger and bigger, they eventually get into battle fortresses. Like, you know what I mean? That's generally what happens. They just keep adding more armor plates on and more turrets, and we're going to need more wheels because it's it's bigger again. And lo and behold, battle fortress. So,
which is why I like that a lot of people have done their own ones, haven't they? And they've when the Bane Blade came out, a lot of people kit bashed and looted them. And when you see the ones done with the battle wagon, that was a
specific one that they did in the Apocalypse book, where it was the Skullhammer Battle Fortress.
Yes,
that was a specific one, and that one was supercharged originally. So the whole idea of that one was it was actually really fast. Like, hilarious.
But you're when you said about like battle wagons being bolted on and that, you've seen the amount of conversions people use the battle wagon between the 2 tracks at the front, and it makes for a really cool looking conversion. It looks so cool, and it just looks like it started life as a battle wagon, and they've carried on bolting on and building bits up from it. So yeah, really cool. Another unit, well, kind of 3 in 1 really. War Buggies, Scorchers, and big tracks. No, big tracks. No, what are they
No,
called?
big tracks, a bigger one. Just
What's it called? What's it called? Where's the card for it?
war tracks.
War tracks. That, yes, you are right. War tracks. Yes.
Even
So,
sounds weird saying it now. It's been that long.
yeah, it has been a while. Now, these are really, really interesting. Really interesting because they've really designed these to work in tandem with some of your character units, which is really, really cool. The points for these, the Buggies, the War Buggies, are 40 points each, and these can all be taken of units of 1 to 2. So War Buggies 40 points, Scorchers 45, and the War Tracks 50 points. And they've all got some really cool special rules. The War Buggies can infiltrate, they can outflank. So that's really useful, being able to come in on your opponent's deployment zone a lot earlier than you usually can. So you can come from their deployment zone in turn 2. The War Tracks, when they get within a certain range, they improve the armor penetration of the weapons by 1. And the Scorchers, I think, just ignore cover. They re-roll wounds of 1 when they're within 6 inches.
I always like them. Good
and if the enemy's on an objective, you re-roll the wound roll instead. So yeah, some nice fluffy rules for them. Yeah, they seem really cool. But what's really, really cool about them is that they have a special rule. If a model from your army with the leader ability can be attached to a war bikers unit, Warboss on bike, Death Killer Wartrike, it can be attached to this unit instead. So now you can attach to your Scorchers, Buggies, and War Tracks, you can attach your Warboss on bike or your Death Killer Wartrike and gain those buffs. So the Legends units can interact and be benefited by the characters, which is really cool. And I think that works both ways as well. So I started thinking Death Killer Wartrike, 2 War Buggies coming on the enemy's deployment zone, turn 2. Yeah, I'll have some of that, please. That's nice.
They've all got the Speed Freaks keyword as well.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So Evil Sons, Speed Freaks, Cult of Speed out there. Throw them Buggies in along with all your newfangled Buggies. You can get a really cool, if you've got all the bikes you want and you've got all the new Buggies and things, and you want to, again, another easy units to convert. You don't need much to make a cool looking buggy, do you?
No, get yourself on eBay and go looking for them old Ork trucks that were very small. They were actually great sizes for war buggies.
Yeah.
Even back in the day.
Or get yourself a new truck and chop it up and build a couple of buggies out of it.
Yeah, chop the back axle off, turn that into a big gun, stick a barrel on it, and boss, use the front part. You got yourself a war buggy and a big gun. And if you're a proper swank, you'll convert it so that it's towed artillery. Oh, fucking yeah.
There you go.
Proper blood axe, man. Proper blood.
But yeah, they just seem really, really cool. You've got the option with the War Buggies. They've got a twin big shooter, or you can swap it out for the rack of rockets. You can do exactly the same thing on the War Track. So then now you've got tank hunting units with racks of rockets on them and stuff. So yeah, really, really cool. The Scorchers are really good if you want to be a very offensive and you want to knock things off the objective, being able to re-roll the wound if you're shooting at units on an objective. So they've got some really fun, fluffy rules in there. Again, they don't break the bank. They're pretty cheap in points. A couple of small little units of them to harass. Again, useful if you're trying to make up the points, because I think like the cheapest thing we've got in the codex is a unit of Grots for like 45 points. I think probably one of the. So yeah, really, really handy on that front. And I want to build some. Because I've got a few wheels knocking about. I've got a few like sort of drivery looking dudes. I've got turrets. I've got things. So yeah, great kit bashing project or a scratch building project.
Oh, definitely. You can have great crack. Someone gifted me a war track many years ago, and they converted it out of the battle wagon tracks. So it's the battle wagon tracks either side, and then they built the chassis in between. It actually looks really cool.
Yeah, that sounds cool. Have you got that thing to? Is it locked? Would you?
Yeah, like I'm in a new room at the moment.
Ah.
Eventually, I'll have proper studio and like airbrush space and hobby space. I'll start taking all the 40k stuff out of storage. It's been in storage for a while now, but I'll start taking it out again and
So the
I'll start.
audience won't be seeing a picture of this thing on the screen now. Is that what we're saying?
I might go digging through cameras, but boy Jesus, I'm making no promises.
Well, if you're seeing it now, he managed to find it, and if not, I'm sure you'll see it
I
at some
doubt
point
it.
soon.
I doubt it.
You just have to use your imagination, you know. There's one unit I really want to talk about, but there's going on. You've got again for Grot army, you've got the Red Gobbo.
Yeah.
He's got some cool rules. How many points is he? Let's have a look. The Red Gobbo is... I don't see his points. Oh, yes, I do. 40 points. So, nice, cheap HQ for your Grot army. Yeah, he's got some nice rules. Now, they've lent on the festive thing because the Red Gobbo
I've seen that, yeah. Has he been a good little brat this year? Yeah, I find it funny that they've led into the festive thing because I know it pissed him off something terrible.
I can hear him in the comments section already. I'm kind of in agreement with him on it though. But it's a cool stratagem. Being able to use the grenade stratagem for 0 CP once per battle. So, and the grenade stratagem is pretty tasty. It's pretty cool. So, yeah.
I like his other rule, the revolution. Well, this model is a leaning unit. Each time a model that unit makes an attack, add 1 to the hit roll. That's pretty handy for Grots.
Grots are hitting on 3+.
Mm.
Tidy. Very nice.
Very tidy. I mean, if you get them with the big guns, and you know what I mean, there'd be no stopping you with their current stat line.
Yeah, I think yeah, Grots are they're in a good place right now.
That'd be fun.
I think if you've got like the Red Gobbo with 1 unit of Grots, Zodgrod leading another unit of Grots, you're gonna have some pretty hench Grots out there that actually like take people by surprise. Actually, so and it's cool if you want to do like an all Grot list. I mean, the only thing I can see getting in the way of that is having to use runt herds. So you do have to have some orcs in your army, but you can.
Have they made them mandatory again? Have they?
They are mandatory, yeah. But they're also not shit and stupidly overpriced anymore, like they have been for the last 2 editions.
But do you know what perplexed me with that was when, do you remember they split them off? They made Grots a unit by themselves and the runt herds, and nobody took runt herds. It was like, well, what's the...
Because they charged like 30-something points for something that was shit. And it's just
I think I've like literally like a Ziploc baggie full of runt herds from all of me Grots brews, and I'm just like, I'm supposed to do this.
I'm still painting mine up now because I'm like, oh, I can actually use these now. Like,
no, I've a surplus of Grots now. I think I painted 120 of them in Rebel Grot colours because they were in mobs at 30, but now it's mobs at 20, so I've even more units. But yeah, I need to do something
enough for 2 Grot armies now.
Oh, probably, yeah. Runt bots, actually, yeah. Find like old school runt bots. They used to be a thing. They used to be like shield generators for the Gretchen units, and do them instead of runt herds. Like have them as proxy runt herds, or have something characterful. Maybe make a little mega armored Grot.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Have him as your runt herd. Yeah, that's not a bad idea actually. Yeah, I found some conversion ideas. There you go, Dread. There's an idea. Original.
And then you've got, I think where it gets really exciting. Well, less exciting so would be the characters. You've got the characters on bikes. One of which in particular, I've saved for last because just if you miss options and conversion possibilities, you're going to love this. But before we get into him. The first one we've got for 85 points, we've got the Pain Boy on Warbike. So yeah, Pain Boy on bike is back. He just confers the usual benefits that gives the Feel No Pain 5+ ability. So throw a Pain Boy on bike into your biker unit or your buggies, as he can do. And you're going to make a more hardy unit. He doesn't come with any options or anything, but a solid choice to just make those bikers a bit more survivable. But the far more interesting one for 105 points is the Big Mech on Warbike. And my God, I challenge anyone to read this guy's data card and not get excited about the possibilities of what they could equip him with and what
it
they
is
could.
chock-a-block, isn't it? It's absolutely packed to the hilt.
Absolutely beautiful. It's like going back in time to sort of 3rd, 4th, 5th edition of just seeing this huge list of options open to you of what you can equip him for. And you can totally change his role on the battlefield by equipping him with the different guns. So he comes equipped with the Slugger, Twin Dagger Gun, Chopper, Close Combat. So very standard stuff. But he can replace his Slugger with Shock Attack Gun, Custom Force Field, Combi Weapon, Custom Mega Blaster, Custom Mega Slugger, Rocket Launcher, Big Chopper, or Power Claw. So quite a few options there. And he can replace his Chopper with one of the following: Combi Weapon, Custom Mega Blaster, Custom Mega Slugger, Rocket Launcher, Big Chopper, Kill Saw, Power Claw. So he can have some like serious fucking dagger. Because not only has he got the twin dagger guns, but then you could give him a shock attack gun and a rocket launcher, or 2 custom mega blasters, or you can give him 2 power claws. I'm not quite sure why you do that, but you can.
I can envision 2 like custom mega blasters, and he's like steering the bike with his feet or something like that, as like blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
All the dagger.
Well, I it's funny you say that, because when I read it, I was just like, oh, I want a kit bash one with 2 custom mega blasters. I don't think I'd have him holding them. I think I would mount them on the bike as well. So he's got the dagger guns, the custom mega blasters. So he's just got a Bad Moon biker boss on a bike with just stupid amounts of dagger.
Give him a harness, you know, like the Mechanicus or whatever. Or,
yeah.
So you have like cool. 2 robotic arms holding the custom mega blasters overhand while he's still giving it socks. Yeah, there's lots of conversion possibilities when you're given lots of options. Your mind just starts, it's like, oh, you could do this, you could do that.
Totally. Or a bike with a side cart with like a turret on it with the guns or something, you know, put a gun in the side cart. Yeah, that'd be absolutely awesome. But yeah, what benefits does he give? He repairs vehicles up to D3 lost wounds, and then does the same thing that a Big Mech does generally, basically. Gives it the +1 to hit, and more dagger. So the unit that he's with reroll hit rolls of 1. So, and again, he can or he can have the custom force field and give him that as so.
Or custom vulnerable save with the unit.
Yeah.
But he's attached it, so that's pretty swank.
Yeah, 4+ in Von save. It's
usually a 5+, isn't it? Oh, fast. That's the proper old school custom force fields. You know what I mean? Back when they were actually good.
Again, it's probably something that he didn't mean to do. They probably just wrote it wrong.
Say nothing. Look, we'll take the terrible big gun stat line if we get the custom force field. All right, we'll say no.
And this is where Dim will be happy, because he runs this, doesn't he? He has his Warboss on bike with custom.
He's got a conversion. His is an old Doom wheel, like an old metal one, and he's done it so that it's got like he's done a conversion for the shock attack gun where it like hoovers grots up from the side and then spits them out. Yeah, he does. He has a converted one.
That's cool. And now he's got official rules to be able to run that as it is and do that. So yeah, and pretty cool rules as well. The standout unit from Legends, I would say. Was there any others that you wanted to talk about? I think we covered a lot of them, actually.
We covered quite a lot of them. I think there's 1 or 2 that are interesting. Like there's the Grot bomb launcher. I never really bothered much about. Like we've the lift wagon, which is hilarious, but like the lift dropper doesn't do what it used to. It's just a shooting weapon now. For me, the only other Legends thing of note would be the kill tank.
The Kill Crusher.
The Kill Crusher, yes.
230 points.
Tax the So I have one of these. No, I don't. I did because the Kill Crusher was the one with the alternating ammo types, and then there's the Kill Blaster and Kill Burster, isn't there? And they're still selling them, so they're not legends. So Kill Crusher I regret not buying one, but it was more expensive. But it was a really swanky kit, and its shtick was that
stunning miniature.
it fired different types of ammunition was its thing, like, but it had like a whole modeled interior and yeah, like 22 wounds. It's a lot of wounds. 3+ save, your 6+ unloadable, and then it's got like some weapons, crusher cannon, blast burner, or crusher cannon, tank hammer shell. So it's got that sort of multiple role. Where it's, big explosion or like doing heavy attack, armor piercing, strength 16, -3 AP, 6 damage. So it's in that same spirit as the old Kill Crusher.
It's got a lovely forces battle shock tests as well, and it's shooting not just to the unit it shot, but every other enemy infantry unit within 3 inches of that thing that got shot has to take a battle shock test. Which is pretty cool. So yeah, it's a formidable unit. It's very, very cool, and huge range. Wow, the crusher cannon's got a 60-inch range on it. Strength 16. And it's got
transport capacity as well, don't forget,
Oh yeah, yes, so it has.
But yeah, it doesn't surprise someone. You'd be going up to assault it, and then all of a sudden a load of flash kits pop out and like, surprise!
And can be equipped with even more Dakar. It's got some options on the back. You can equip it with twin big shooters or rocket launch, up to 4 rocket launchers.
4 rocket launchers, yes. Yeah.
This thing can be, and you might as well because they're free. So, yeah.
Plenty of Dakar.
Yeah, I think so this is where probably some of the power gamers would like this unit for you dip into Legends for this, because
like big units like that, I don't think they're actually really power gamery things. They're more so they look cool. You know what I mean? Even if you put all the weapons on them, it's like they're gonna die horribly because big units, people see them, and they go out with a bang. But it's always fun. I always like that about big apocalypse games. I haven't played one since our last one, our big battle, but we didn't really have like big centerpiece units each. So I think Legends would really help in that regard, where you could have some big units like the big battle fortress that you have.
Yeah.
That you have rules for here. That'd be cool to get your battle fortress on, and then maybe somebody would bring a stomper, or maybe there's some other Legends units like the Kill Crusher tank. I think Dread might have one that's a plastic card version. So I'm
fairly sure Dread's truck could stand in as a Kill Crusher, to be fair. It's certainly big enough.
Battle Fortress / Battle Wagon truck. Yeah. Sure these would. All right. Yeah, no one.
But yeah, that's hopefully you at home watching this has got you excited and wanting to delve into it. Like, check the link below in the description, click that link and go and download yourselves these rules and data sheets and things. And there were 2 separate downloads. There's one for the rules, the data sheets, and there's one for the points that's separate. And I would invite, the points come for like all factions, so it's just Legends points for all factions. But what I've done is I've just screenshotted the Ork one, and you'll probably see an image of it on the screen now, actually, showing you all the points for your reference if you want to take a look at that. But yeah, hopefully it's got you excited, and well, share in the comments below what units you really like the sound of, or what you'd like to either dig out and use again or convert, and what you'd do. Let us know, and let us know what you think about Legends as a concept, and do you like the fact that it's still there and available to us, or do you think it's like where models and units go to die? I don't think it is. I think it's up to us to keep them alive.
This gives us an opportunity to keep those old models being used. It's like, but it is that I think that is the question that we should be asking, is like, well, what do people think? These folks think that Legends should be allowed to be used, or would you not play with Legends? You know what I mean? Would you not let people play with Legends? And if not, why not? You know what I mean?
And if
You know,
not, sort your fucking life out. Allow a bit of fun in.
yeah, exactly.
And
Just
I think the
even like
more
the
people that use them, and the more it becomes accepted. Now, obviously, if you go to a tournament or whatever, and they're not going to allow
yeah,
that.
but I think that's a different mindset. Like
Yeah, that's
I can
fine.
understand tournaments being things have to be hashed down and
So can I.
the constantly updated and stuff. But when you're having like if you're having a big apocalypse battle with your mates and you're having a bit of a laugh, and like me, I want to build a team army, so I'm going to use a Legends unit because it fits the team. You know,
Yeah.
you can have some great conversion potential here. Like,
Oh, definitely, definitely. And I think even if in your smaller, I mean Nick in Nick's tournaments, when he organises them, he allowed Legends units in them and that because they're more for fun. They're more light-hearted tournaments, you know. It's a small thing in that. So if you organise tournament at your club or your friends, like local things, then you're good to go there. So
use them
yeah,
more.
yeah,
They're free.
definitely.
Go look for them. Go find them on Warhammer Community. Type Legends in the search bar. They're free. Print them off. Show your mates.
Download them.
Think of
Let GW see everyone downloading it. Go, cool. A lot of people downloading the Legends units. They must really like them. You know, best not
yeah,
get rid
that's
of
it. If we get
them.
numbers going through, maybe we'll get that plastic battle fortress eventually, Steve. What do you reckon? Huh?
Yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? That would be
It
nice
would
for
be
a
sweet.
plastic kill crusher. That'd be cool. Or a plastic squig off.
Where?
Maybe we'll cover that stuff on another video because we're
I
obviously
think so. I think that deserves another video.
yeah, we
Well,
got
what?
the Forge World data cards as well. With
Came
lots of
prepared with
good
his
things
stack.
there. The yeah, Mega Dreads and Squigoffs and Mecha Dreads and Big Tracks and Gargantuan Squigoffs and lots of other fun stuff. So yeah, what you with both of those, you're like doubling the amount of units available to you in your army outside of just the codex. There's loads of interesting stuff you could use that will surprise your opponents and delight them as well, hopefully, when they see these. Oh, I've never seen that before. What's that?
Yeah. Or I've not seen this in a very long time. That's pretty cool.
Yes, yeah. Oh, I remember those.
Yeah, I love that, man. I love coming across units like that when people have their armies and like, yeah, blast from the past, you know? It's always fun. Really
Definitely.
old school armor cast stuff, or, you know, even people just using like second or third ed artillery pieces, you know? I mean, the scale creep happens, but even still, it's like, it's cool,
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
That's what
Definitely.
it's all about, the rule of cool, folks, and Legends. That's where
For,
it's at for the rule of cool.
for sure. For sure. Well, guys, I hope you've enjoyed seeing these two bald gits back. This won't be the last one. And I mean, we're trying to do on the channel, on the Warboss channel at the moment, isn't it? We're trying to, as you've probably noticed recently, we've actually been producing some content with some regularity.
I know. What's going on?
all goes according to plan. You're watching this on a premiere on Sunday night, hopefully, if my editing's gets done in time, and it will. And then I think next week we've got our the Odd Boys, I believe, are coming at you with a video, and we're going to try and stick to this. We're going to try and stick with Warboss content every week, whether that be just two of us or all six of us or any combination in between, and try and keep some regular content coming to you guys. And
no try. We'll do it. There
we
is no
will.
try.
There's six of us. If six of us can't manage it between us,
No,
then
no
what are we
excuse.
doing? Come on.
I still laugh at that. It's like, oh, there's six of us now. We don't need all of us to try and do an episode, and then we don't do an episode if all six of us are there. It's like, lads, this wasn't the battle plan.
No.
We're getting better at it. I promise. We're getting better.
We are.
Increments.
We are. We've got some good stuff coming in the future. We've got some plans for videos and projects and things. So yeah, hopefully you'll see a lot more of us going forward. And yeah, more Bald Nobz, more Odd Boys, more Warboss content in general. And yeah, we've got some interesting things in the works coming up. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. Remember, give us a like, give us a subscribe, share the video out. and go back and watch like the back catalogue of stuff. Oh, and tune into my channel as well. Shameless plug, because I've been doing these tactics videos going over the data cards and things. I'm going to continue doing that. Once I've exhausted all the data cards in the Ork Codex, I do plan to cover all the Forge World ones and all the Legends ones before our 10th edition codex comes out. So I've got quite a bit of work ahead of me and quite a bit of content to create and bring out. So yeah, but there might be a link appearing in the corner if I remember to do it, to check out those playlist videos, those tactics videos. But yeah, exactly. Anyway, guys, better
if you're looking for BattleTech content, you know where to look. You know what I mean?
Well, guys, thank you very much. We will see you on the next one very soon. This is 6+ Stevo signing out.
And it's goodbye from Scarnier / Dwayne / Plastic Cracks, and saying don't forget to drill your barrels.
See you guys.